going to the Shanghai Major. They've been there, they're warming up, right? Obviously, like we've seen, and like they were talking about on the desk, online qualifiers, that's been the bread and butter for Sashi. But it's these events where it's felt like you've shown signs, but never been able to get over that final hurdle. Can they actually do it this time, Vince? And with the Major on the line?
It's a good question. I honestly think we're destined for all 3 maps on this one as well, because Sashi have played Inferno twice, won Inferno twice at the RMRs, and then on the other side of things, VP have played Ancient twice, won Ancient twice, both 13-10. So I think as we come into this, the perma bans kind of put us into this position, with Nuke being the perma alongside us too. And so, like, we're realistically going into territory where I think if VP can squeak a win here on Ancient, they got a chance at a fast track, but I do feel like Sashi can get this one done, and it would be an incredible result if they did.
It would be. It'd be a hell of a result for the Danish squad. So let's see what they've got going for us on the pistol round. CT side start here. First map is Ancient, and it's Lucky that cracks the top off of 2. Looking for a little bit more, but Jane clacks straight back. Cabby waiting behind the box to respond on the flip. And this round's looking good for the Danes to start things off with success.
Jane already having a real struggle on this round, that's for sure, alongside the rest of them. Electronic, who's been a beast on Ancient, is about to get shut down in the back from these Julies. Queez will not give him a second chance. And Jamin now going to be walking out into the open against so many CTs. First pick is pretty clean. Dropped down to 9 though, and he's... I thought for a second he was going to get flanked in from Queez, but he decides to go back into Donut. They are giving Jame the respect that he deserves. But realistically, he is just wasting time because there was no chance of him getting back into that. Sashi pick up the first round here on Ancient. And pretty comfortable in the process, landing some nice shots to kick things off.
No big round from Lucky, right? Like up top, elevated angle, hitting some nice hurty-verties to kick off the game. 2 clean kills, set it up for Cabby on the swing out. And following that, it went business as usual. Now, one of the things you're going to be seeing throughout this game as well, if you haven't really followed Sashi's story, is this man on your screens. The energy behind him, the way he fires up the troops, but he also can slow it down at times, Vince. We've seen, right? If it gets a little bit out of hand, if there's too much adrenaline, Iceberg is the first to put the hands up, be like, right, boys, slow it down, slow it down. There's some good links between these teams. You see they rely on each other very nicely. Another key point coming into this one as well with their CT side in play here, Vince, is their nade sets. We've been so impressed with their utility.
Yeah, I think that kind of harkens back to what Dus was talking about, like in terms of protocols and strategies and set plays. Like realistically, Sashi do feel like they're a lot more well versed than VP are.
100%.
And that's crazy considering that when VP like first started to come onto the scene, or Vanguard before, obviously with Jame and the rest of the troops, they were known as this super tactical based team with set plays and a very slow but dynamic kind of style of play. So the fact that they're now kind of like run out of that steam, quite surprising. Lucky with the triple spray, running out of ammunition and health. Decent bit of damage here considering it's not really an investment into the round on VP. 2 kills, not too shabby at all. And if Jane can put that P250 to use, that is going to hurt Sashi going forward into this next one. So they need to be careful. And if they play too passive here, they could afford him a bomb plant.
Oh. They just swing out. Mister gets him. You think maybe if he gets the P250 tap off, could have been room for a little bit more cash flow. But not the way it goes. So Sashi with the first 2. And VP finally have their buy. So rifles on parade. Give them their dues as well. Like on this map, Vince, Electronic, he came alive, right? And that's what we were talking about in the sense where this team, it felt like the identity crisis kind of occurred after he joined the roster. We were hoping he would be this like bolt of energy. It felt like, you know, tons of talent, a player that should slot in. But their ideology changed. The way they were playing CS didn't really adapt with the times as well coming into CS2. But individually, the man can still crack heads. Problem is, in this round, you've got control of mid early. Fighting for lane as well. There's a trade back through the smoke onto Flit. So you're down to just a duo. Kind of funneled into the A site as well. Smoke and a flash for James. They could still set themselves up, but this is a real rough start.
No, it is. And going back to what we said before, like if Sashi were to pick up this map, VP's choice, it puts them in a prime position for that potential 2-0. Because I really feel like Inferno is going to go their way from what we've seen. And, you know, you're touching Electronic there as being like this surge of energy, this bolt of lightning to kind of make this Frankenstein's monster out of VP, and they just start tearing everyone limb from limb. On Ancient, he has been that guy. He's 1.6 rating so far off the maps they've played at this RMR on Ancient. He's been just balling out of control. 100 firepower on HLTV stats. Very few players have managed to reach that. So The thing is, though, it's quite a small sample size. It's just a couple of maps. And then there's always that question that's just lingering in the back of your head when it comes to VP and consistency. You see these big heights, but they don't really pull it in, round out. In terms of this one, though, Fame has cracked open a way through on the site. And with a smoke down on Donut, there is a possibility of a bomb plant now.
It's Shame and Fame in this one, and Fame, if Electronic is the player to look at for the tippity top for the team, it's Fame that feels like he's gone missing. Compared to his last 3 months at this event, it hasn't been the same caliber of damage. You get the wrap back through CT spawn. Let's see if this duo can still make this one work. Lucky leading the charge towards Temple side. Fame honed in with James supporting onto Donut. That's where Cabby's situated with the nade set. Running out though, looking to draw the attention, and it works for the backstab. So it's all on Fame. Time's tight on this one. If you could force them off the bomb, it's winnable. Good damage there. He instantly rips them to pieces. Doesn't matter that he doesn't get the third. They're going to jump on it, but no real time on that one. Cabby's going to get blown to bits, and VP take a round.
Sick round by Fame. That's more like it. I was about to say that as dizzying heights as Electronic has had so far in this tournament, especially on Ancient, Fame and Flit have been lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah.
Strangely, it's been Norbert that's been up there towards the top of the scoreboard, with Jame also popping off a couple of times. You know, I was talking about the firepower stats of 1.6. To put it in much simpler terms, on Ancient so far, he's played 46 rounds with 48 kills and only 27 deaths with 110 ADR. Like, Electronic right now is having a great time on Ancient. Bit of a slow start, but maybe that is the moment that Fame awakens everyone else on VP.
We're coming into this round off the back of a steal in the second, with only 2 players being able to clutch it out. You've thrown the economy of Sashi straight into the meat grinder. Ooh, bit of a backstab there. We were talking about the bloodthirst for Electronic. He takes it a bit more literally. Taking down Flit. Shouldn't matter too much in the grand scheme of the rounds unless some shenanigans occurs. Cabby just posts up. He's going to play on the off angle in case they run back over and go for the mid-rotate. Timing on this as well. He can actually slow walk up. Lucky's getting all the info from the site. It's only the USP, and Electronic should be ready for it.
Oh, gets him finally. Fortunately, he didn't have something better than the USP. And now that P250 maybe could crack a dome or two. James says no with his AK. 2-2. The score was obviously a full-on eco from Sashi being broken down. They hemorrhaged a couple of kills in those 2-0 start that they had. But they're able to bounce back now. It won't be ideal, though. I mean, you're looking at MP9. They'd love to have Lucky on the AWP we saw yesterday on Inferno. On the T side, he struggled a little bit. On the CT side, when he was playing static quad, he was just lighting up the scoreboard. 4Ks all over the place. I think he went from like 5 or 6 kills in the first half to nearly 20 on the second. So a very capable CT side AWPer. And definitely one to watch out for when we do head to Inferno in the future.
These mid fights have gone so good for them up to this point, and it continues again here. Streak of success in the early clashes. And Sashi do play very proactive. They've got great protocols in terms of their utility, but it's the buddy system. That's where we've seen a lot of success. You know, we were praising their trading previously. Followed a lot of their games. We've been fortunate to cover their story kind of throughout this RMR, really, with the results they've gone through, the trials and tribulations. They've had some close results, but still, the position they're now in, with a major on the line, you want to see them really expand to that degree. And VP, feels like there is a bit of a curse at RMRs for this squad at times, Vince. Lingering over their heads. They set up Flit for the play into the bomb site. Gets a bit of info. Fame's able to pull off the backstab through Red Room in the meanwhile as well. So now you split the attention of the CTs. Bomb could still wrap back, but look at Mister's position. He's already pushed up aggressive.
Yeah, after getting the early bloodshed, he just goes straight forward. Queez in the meanwhile, though, making moves down on lane through Catwalk. And although Fame is in the CT spawn, he's so isolated and segregated from Jame, who has control over the bomb. 35 seconds left, takes the head, but also takes one straight on the chin from the A1S, down to 1 HP. Oh, Mister can't afford to let this one slip. And Jane gets caught with a nade out. Bomb spilled, fumbles in A main. And Fame needs to go huge one more time. 15 seconds, first kill is his. But the prospects of getting the bomb and darting towards the site with a post plant is incredibly low, and he knows it. So he'll hold on to the AK instead. Sashi pick up the rifle rounds.
It's a nice response back from VP. Drawing the attention of Cabby on the rotate meant they could stab out through Red Room and open up the round. Getting the dink off down mid-side. Obviously, if Fame hits the shot there, could have been a different story. Would have put a bit more pressure on Mr. inside of A main. Instead, the knock-on effect is VP forced to use their first tactical timeout here. Losing a rifle round, feeling a bit uncomfortable in the groove of the game. Obviously, only having the one weapon as well there in the hands of Fame with limited cash to work with. So throwing the pause, talk about it early, see where the adaptations need to be made.
London in deep conversation with the rest of the troops. You see him very animated. We saw this yesterday as well. Meanwhile, looks like VP are just big chilling. Coach having the sandals with the white socks.
He's got the socks and sandals.
Well, those are like flip-flops, really, aren't they? Like, more so than sandals.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's chilling, though. I respect it. Whatever's comfortable, man. Meanwhile, economy not too comfortable for VP. Squeaking out of Tech 9. Cabby once again gets aggressive. Headshot delivered first class, but Flit's able to get one before he's traded. So Sashi, hot off the back of the tactical timeout, just get straight in the face of VP and get a ton of success off the back of it.
So these proactive openers continue to find success for Sashi. The mid-fight's been good for him this time with the crunch towards lane. It works out well. Obviously, with the limited cash VP had going into this one as well, it's a full investment. They pass the AK back. In the hands of Fame and Electronic. Lucky. He looked crisp in the pistol round. Here with a Kalashnikov waiting inside of Temple. He's getting all the audio cues. The rest of the squad starting to wrap round as well to assist. Kids to play with and tons of retake utility, but they want to double face and fight on this. First tag's there. Not as much damage as potentially they suspected. So it's a 1-for-1 trade off the back. Looking better for Sashi on the retake, and they've got the flash to go in.
So Quiz gets behind that flash. I think Fame was slightly affected by it, so it's allowing Mister to draw him out from the side. And Sashi looking good to recoup back onto the site now and take it. James can only save his Tech 9 and Kevlar. Not ideal, but he thinks it's a weapon down, and he gets it. Onto Catwalk with just a half a second left on the clock. So at least he comes out of the round with something, but they did fully invest into it. So in terms of their prospects of like bouncing back into this round with a bunch of rifles, it's not really possible or available for them. Off the back of a tactical timeout, and Sashi already off to a 4-2 lead, looking to extend that lead now and apply that pressure directly to VP.
With that pressure, turn them into diamonds or leave them flattened like a hydraulic press, Vince.
Those videos are great, by the way. Have you seen them?
Yeah. Yeah. Just VP players spewing out of the hydraulic press. I mean, they try and get a bit of mid-control on this one. Sashi, reading the cash, they don't need to go necessarily as aggressive, so they're playing closer towards their chest. As the two players swing, first headshot goes down onto Electronic. James looks for the trade. So you force out one player towards donut. But again, Sashi do what they do best. They take map control down towards ramp, even though you're out on the bomb site, unless Norbert gets visual contact, which luckily he spotted them. This could have been them walking into the abattoir. Iceberg is suspicious, knows there was a timing for the walk through cave side, and it's flipped with the tech. Oh, they're all bypassing each other, Vince. The timings on this is so bizarre.
It's just so awkward, isn't it? And Fame has got one, but this may come down to Flick catching the rotational elements in, and Iceberg. Oh, he had an idea that someone might be around the corner, but wasn't capable of withstanding that position. And with his life being deemed forfeit, VP win the round out with an A1S and 4 Tech 9s. Off the back of just cultivating chaos through on cave. So, I mean, that's the problem. It's obviously a great read from VP. Like, listen, Sashi loved to go for these lane pushes, these ramp hits. So Flit just waltzes out, having the time of his life, looking around the back of the site, and the freest of kills, the freest of rounds in the end.
It almost felt like he had missed his timing as well, but Iceberg walks back in, heads towards CT side, paranoid about where he could be, just as he was walking back. And like you say, he went into this with effectively nothing really to play with. They were able to trade out for the fight towards Donut side and then just work their way in. Yeah, that's the frustration of the reality setting in on that one.
Because he knew.
Yeah.
He knew something was off about that round.
Just didn't quite know where he had tucked himself into. So flip with the tech makes it uncomfortable. Instantly into a timeout here as well. Again, opportunity to discuss, because that is a bit of a rough one for them. Could have been a different story if you converted the round. They were looking like they were starting to find their wings on their CT side. Problem is now we're talking about cash for VP. Shoes on the other foot, Sashi. The one saved weapons. You've still got the Kalashnikov. 2 HEs as well with double flash. What's the game plan here for Cabby and Iceberg?
I've got to try and activate Mister as much as they can with that AK. Try and take a page out of the book of VP from that last round. Get the one rifle in play as early as possible. He's going to try and swing outside of Donut. The 2 HEs tossed in, anticipating maybe a fast hit on middle, but not forthcoming. Instead, it will be making moves through on the A main side. At least their AK is in close proximity to swing back out again once these nades start to fall. Set play now in. Norbert throwing the smoke. He's had a bit of a rough start as well, 0-6. If the leads can draw away some fire, that's where Mister can get involved. And the double spray is good. Looking to try and keep control of the site for as long as possible. A third kill on top of it. And VP, with a taste of their own medicine, have to back off. Flit and Norbert, last players, and another HE tossed in for good measure. Softening up Flit.
Huge damage done from Mister in the round. You can see they're cancelling the push immediately as well. Just getting ripped to shreds by that AK. Still 50 seconds left on the clock, and you've got space to play with now for the CTs. They've been able to get their hands on one of the other weapons. So you can situate it round towards the B bomb site. They're actually pushing in through cave as well, so they can get a read here. Lucky on the USP can go out as the bait. Trade off the back of him. Timing's good for the peak on Iceberg, and it's just Flit. Trapped at mid. Already, pendulum starting to swing in this matchup there. No easy rounds for either side. His position now compromised, but they'll be able to just recover the weapons. Flit. He can back off, look for the save.
Yeah, this save gun, he can afford to... James can maybe drop across a rifle. They can maybe squeak out a buy. But I mean, that's 2 rounds in a row now where the team with one rifle and effectively upgraded pistols has embarrassed the opposition. And this is going to mean the world to Sashi because they know that their Inferno is rock solid. They can get set up nicely on the CT side. I mean, they are in such a strong spot. Great round for Mister, though. Spray on point. You probably argue that VP didn't really do that much on the execute. Just your standard smokes. Didn't really Molotov the key angles off. Didn't flash. No smoke to Donut. Almost inviting that kind of pressure.
Straight back to basics for Sashi, but it's a good call on the mid-window jump across. Cabby's able to flank through the back, fight upside a lane. Oh, Norbert with the timing there as well. So close to being caught with the quick switch. Instead, it results in this. 3 players down once again. So VP, back to basics towards the A site. Trying to go for the contact walk up on main. Incendiary's good to buy a bit of time.
Lucky in the same spot that Mister was sat in last time, but this time he's got a lot more in terms of backup. Queez in Temple is waiting to be activated. Want that swing. Lucky with the first. Can just stay alive. Knowing that the strength in numbers, but the timing is slightly off. Electronics able to get up close with the AK. Plucks out and deletes the Donut presence. But Iceberg's on the long con. The swing around, line up, and they spray straight down with the A1S. Sashi will pick up a 6th. And VP continue to struggle on these executes.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, lane control was fought for instantly outside of the B site. And going in towards A. Just got overwhelmed, blown to bits there on the close angle once again. Felt like deja vu for him on the push. And all of these rounds are worth their weight in gold for Sashi. Like we were touching on coming into this, obviously both for the wins for the respective teams. 2 for VP on this map. Over the course of their RMR run. So they wanted to put this one to bed. It's why we thought it would be a full free mapper with both teams taking their respective map picks. They go for it again this time. You've read it right. They were expecting a faster B with the low cash available. But no one home. Welcome map was down. James can get the plant in. Paranoid about the swing out through the CT smoke. Cabby just tucks himself in towards Donut as well. Trying to get the pre-fire off. Sees a bit of skin through the gap in the smoke. Mister. Almost 2. But Fame with the tech shoots straight back. So they've got the post plant. Lesser weapons. Sashi again for the free player. Wrap back through CT side as well.
Well, they'll know that there's Tech 9s and P250s, therefore there shouldn't be that much utility at this point. So they're going to need to try and oust back onto the site and dethorn all these Ts. Expelled, Donut for the time being. Time is starting to dwindle away. Any kills here would be huge for Jane, but it won't be happening. And with the kit in hand, Sashi will pick up a 7th. It was a good read from VP. They called Sashi's bluff. They get something out of the round, but they still find themselves up against it. However, we did just see the stats come up on the screen, and really what it's saying is this half, Sashi should have a pretty significant lead because the next half is going to be difficult for them. VP do their best work on CT side, and sometimes Sashi struggle. So getting a nice buffer of rounds here is very important for the Danes.
You think about the sustainability of the rounds they've been able to win as well, right? It was the timing on the walk up with one rifle in towards the B bomb site. The other round was the clutch out from Fame, the 1 versus 3 post plant. So it's finding an opportunity to actually convert these rounds cleanly. Mister back on the elevated angle. A little bit more reserved this time outside of the initial utility that's thrown in. Not going for the info plays. They're waiting for the walk up. Bit of a one and done angle. Finds the first. If you can drop the smoke in, you're buying a ton of time here. And again, it makes them feel so uncomfortable on this. How many times have we seen them getting these opening duels with no room for a trade?
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to trade out and run and gun that one, but because there's so many angles, like running out, you're on Xbox, Temple, potential of that secondary box on the right side up on the platform. Plat might even be double stacked. You've seen that before. Players on the site, players Donut. So it's such a horrible spot to get killed from, and that's why we're seeing more teams actually Molotov the platform on these kind of peaks. Draw away the player, similar to like Top of Hut on Nuke, if you think of it that way. Get rid of those pesky vertical angles. Makes it so much easier for you to like either lurk out or at least explode out. But the freest of kills for Mister, 10 kills to his name alongside Cabby. 2 of them are doing a great job. And our VP, once again, struggling, having to push with sub 30 seconds on the clock.
Considering the backline to make it uncomfortable for the plant. Norbert could be key to the round if he could find the frags, but it's Lucky that's living lavishly. Here's the trades we were looking for, though. VP still in this one. But Mister's able to swing 13 seconds on the clock. The 1v2 for Electronic. And the angle favors Mister again. Hat trick for him in the round. Another one converted. You found your footing on the bomb site, but no room to take it home. So an 8th now. Looking to close this one down 9-3.
And whereas the next half might be rough, if Sashi can pick up a 9th, man, I mean, that is one step already ahead in this map of just taking it outright.
And they're good on the pistols, Vince.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, very high win percentage on the pistols. Another player I kind of totally missed there in terms of his impact is Lucky, and I don't remember seeing him with the AWP. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just been rifles the whole time.
It's been pistol, SMG, A1S. And it's crazy because obviously we've seen his impact with the AWP over the course of this event as well, right? You think about that matchup versus Eternal Fire. It's very quiet until he suddenly came alive towards the tail end of the game, was racking up the kills. Huge impact on Inferno. Norbert gets the walkout. He's able to just go in and find that pickup. Squeeze down. This time around, it is an opening duel going the way of VP. Doubling up towards cave side, looking a little bit uncomfortable on this one. VP have been able to get in to this bomb site multiple times. It's been about closing it. That's where the problems have been there. But you're afforded a little bit more utility this time around. So Stereo smokes up on either side. You get the molly on the bomb site, flash in for Flit to take space through Cave. Meanwhile, the mid distraction works with Electronic. And the last 3 players thrown into an uncomfortable retake. If they were looking for a 9th, it's not going to come easily. You need a huge round from this duo. They've both been popping off, and now they're playing together on the swing out. They're winning the duels. Low HP for Electronic. He's got to wrap the whole way back to fight towards ramp side. Buy him time late in the round. And Lucky's finding the kills. All on him now. 1v2. Oh, that's a beautiful shot down towards the ramp. Fame looking to force him off. It'll be another clutch for him. Swings off the bomb to take the encounter. But Fame does grab that one.
I think that kind of encapsulates all the VP struggles that we've seen so far. Like, you had a vast advantage into that round. Yes, you had players on pistols and kind of awkward buys, so that's fair enough. But like, you're still struggling to claw and kind of edge your way into taking a round that probably should have been yours for all intents and purposes. I've got a question mark Queez, though, in that position on the Cubby. Like, he doesn't have any backup. Typically, if you're going to play that Cubby angle, you're going to have someone cave watching you back from platform, so you can focus on the lower side towards the double doors. It's the freest of kills. You just see the Tech-9 run up, put it to the side of his head, and blow his head off. There's a free rifle upgrade. That's a really strange read. I don't know if there's a lack of comms. You said it was a bit awkward, and they both backed out of cave, like almost tripping over one another. So I can only assume that they weren't on the same page. The issue is, those kind of mistakes cost you rounds, and against teams like VP, that could be the difference going into the second half now.
And there's been a bunch of those throughout their run at the RMR. Obviously, a lot of the rounds they've been converting, or when they do have these heroic moments, you see players popping off, which bodes well, because obviously the individuals are looking relatively good right now. It's only Queez that's kind of quiet, which in its own right is a worry, because he's had some show-stopping rounds, right? We've been singing his praises. He's a bit of a rifling lunatic. Blessing to that is, though, Vince, I think moving into his T side, it should be a bit better for him. He can set the pace of the game. I'd favour him there. I feel like he is damn good when he's got an AK, if he can take fights towards you. You've got to bypass the pistol first. We're into this one. Second half pistol going live. 3 players set up, holding for the mid walkout. Electronic, Fame, and Jame in position.
And you highlighted it. They're very good in pistols. 55% win rate on Ancient. On both CT and T side, and that's why explosive all together. Fame now has to try and hold on, and he does so in style with 2. It may not be good enough, though, because they've already taken the site and made it theirs, pillaged onto the A side of the map. And now Flit and Norbert, who've both had a bit of a rocky start, have to try and close the gap. Now, they do have a smoke and a kit in the hands of Flit, but Norbert stuck by himself on Donut, and he's fell down to Mister, who goes huge one more time. 16 frags, and 3 of them in this pistol. Oh, Flit has such a difficult task ahead of him. At least the timer on the clock isn't that bad for the defuse, so he can throw in the smoke and try and draw out some of these Ts. They're going to start to peek. Needs to get some clean headshots right here, right now. Won't be forthcoming. Going to have to try and get on the site, and Iceberg will deny. Lovely round from Sashi once again.
So I was saying you've got to watch out for him on those pistols. And as much as the stats make you believe the VP could have a nice CT half, so there's no rounds left to play with, it might be too late to get started. There's been a couple of instances, though, where it's gotten a bit uncomfortable in the anti-ecos, where we've seen Sashi win a pistol round, then it starts to go wrong for them. So I hope you avoid that here, as this would be a great map win for them, right? One map closer to the major, but it's also then you going into a map you're comfortable on. It's your home turf. You're able to really deal some damage. Show us what you're made of. Off angle here for Fame on the walk up. I mean, if they don't clear him, he's not only getting info as they both walk around, but thankfully, flick back over. Mac 10 will spot him.
Molotov to the Iceberg position. Going to force him away. Up on the Xbox, but Iceberg also gets tagged in the process down to 9. Trade through middle is always going to go the way of Mister with the AK up against the USP. And they also have Cabby that's just making a slow movement out on the B side, clearing all these angles and relaying that information to their teammates. They'll smoke red, and Jane gets dragged through the smoke. But smoke red, and they can cross over onto the B side of the map where Cabby has already made inroads towards the CT spawn. Maybe they can get a pick on Iceberg, but it's only the Mac 10. It's the expendable weapon regardless. This is the 10th round to the Danes. A commanding lead. And Cavi going to pad those stats a little bit more with Queez. Clean sweep. Can keep that into a bonus round come the next.
Yeah, they had insurance policies on that one on the walk back towards mid, playing off each other. Of course, those are the easy ones. You take the pistol, going up against the lesser weapons, just the USPs there in the preceding round. Now it's up to VP to course correct. Show us what they're made of. It would be 6 rounds back-to-back to tie this one up. A1S is across the board, utilities there as well, so minor concessions made. No kit for the late retake could be problematic, so maybe they want to try and take this one a bit more headstrong. Fights towards mid once again. It's a 1-for-1, but quick response out. They're barreling into the bomb site. An angle that we haven't seen, though, is where Flip's been lurking. As a flick back over Vin. Somehow this is a 2v2, minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. And you can bail on this. They don't need to commit. Still got a smoke and a Molotov for Queez.
I think Jay may have heard them run back outside of A main, though, but they're just being careful. He's allowing Norbert now to rotate back over onto B, making sure it wasn't a fake. But yeah, like you mentioned, like so much time still on the clock. They can start to play the mind games. As long as they stick together, they should be good for a 1-for-1 trade into a plant, and that's where Sashi have been so good so far, like their individual skill. And we're discussing how, like, tactically, they're probably superior to VP. When it comes down to the individuals, that's where you're expecting the electronics, the fames, the flits to really stand tall. Well, that's just not been the case in this map so far. It's been all Sashi.
Oh, Norbert. Felt like he was going to get overwhelmed on the peak there. Lucky's been really crisp. Norbert almost doubling his frags inside of that round as well, bringing himself up to 5 total. Important one to close down. So they are able to weather the storm, at least there. Still money to reinvest. Sashi with the Kalashnikovs once again, utility to play with. You got fame on that MP9. You could be a bit more aggressive with it, play a close angle, see if he wants to get himself control of A main early. Sashi, they love fighting for mid on T and CT, but this time around, Mr. just tucks in towards the elbow. Flashes himself back through. Everyone else grouping up as well. They've gone contact through A main. Ooh, timing on the swing for that one, just as the flash comes over.
There's no follow-up peek, so Mr. can just walk away. They don't have too much in terms of collective utility belt. Only 2 smokes and a couple of flashes of Molotov. Looking to go for that platform peak is where Mr. really thrived. And we'll see if AIM can survive in this spot. He's had a solid performance after a pretty slow start. The Shadow is going to betray Queez here. Easy pickings, and he's able to actually dial it back as well and survive on full HP. Nades tossed in to just remedy and soothe the retreat. And Iceberg stuck behind that smoke. Are they going to push through it? No, they're hiding inside it. I thought they were going to push into Donut. That would have been madness from VP.
They're both playing inside of the smoke. With Norbert on the wrap out towards Red Room. He wins the duel as well. Iceberg, great adjustment shot. The second's a rough one, but he still is able to fight his way through it. Takes the batteries out of Electronic and looks to power down VP in the round as it's only Flit and Jame left. 23 seconds on the clock. Some impactful kills here could still save it for them. Give them a 6th. Maiden to the back. It's a fake tap on the bomb initially. Cabby dodging the damage from the HE. You're biding your time for the backstab. James the key piece. He can win the duel on Cabby. Trigger discipline for that one. No nades though. All about the rule jewels on this. You can't smoke it off. You've got to run in. Caught with the peak on the reload. Jay, low on health. Lucky knows he's in a round-winning position here. Just tucks back in, throws out the flash. He's just got to slow it down, Vince.
Exactly. Play the time, play the bomb. James going to stick onto it. He does have a kick, comes off, tries to bait Lucky, but shoulder peeks in. And there's no way forward now for James. He will go down, whether it Lucky or whether it be the bomb. His fate was inevitable. Lucky also sent packing out of the round, but with a smile on his face and an 11th round in his back pocket. Great round from Iceberg, man. 2 huge kills.
Yeah, big recovery, right? It looked scary. They were kind of trapped in. You're thinking they've got a 2-player set up inside of Donut. You had the flank round the back from Norbert, who won that fight instantly. Even looked like there might have been a window. The late flank from Jane. But it doesn't pay off in the end. So it's 11 rounds now, taking a tactical pause as well to work with, knowing they're in a real power play position, trying to figure out the bar in terms of the reinvestment with how close these rounds have been time and time again.
Oh. Man, Electronic is 0-7 in opening duels. I cannot remember the last time I've seen that stat for him individually, ever.
Especially here as well, like what we were literally saying. He was kind of like, he was the beast on Ancient, right? They couldn't stop him. Anyone we were playing against, he was the key man. He's finding 4K, he's finding entries. So the fact that he's been so quiet, he's not getting those opening duels, paints the picture of why this is going as dominantly as it is.
Iceberg may go down, but Mister is in position one more time. Just backs away a little bit, funnels into his teammates. They can smoke out and try and isolate these players. Electronic gets aggressive, but he's also punished as a result. The HP bars dwindling on the T's, but they are able to get two, and Cabby, he's wrapped around the back, and Norbert has no idea. VP are entirely clueless about this position.
It could go both ways, though. If Norbert tucks in, plays on the off angle, they've got to wrap back through spawn. He's calling for them to come to B. Clears out towards the doors as well, but didn't fully extend in. He might not know about the angle that's in play. And with such low health, oh, this could go wrong so quickly. He'd have control of the bomb, be in a great position to close it out. He sees the skin. You can full commit to the swing there with the SMG. Lucky. Does deliver the payload. Hits the head. Cabby knows he's got to be a bit more forward thinking now on the round.
It's good damage from Norbert, though. Molotov goes in. It's almost baiting that Cabby's not up close as well. It's unlikely you throw that Molotov if you have a player up close. I think that's going to bait VP into a false sense of security here. And the spray comes in from Cabby. There's the one, but the low Lucky is finished off. And Flit on 8 will save the day for VP. Or just delay the inevitable.
A round of small details there. But what matters most is the individual as Flit shows up with a 2K. It felt like it was Kirk. I'm right there with you, thinking that one was just going to be closed down with the Galil on the close angle. Although Sashi get that bomb plant, obviously the cash flow just isn't great for them. And VP keep the 1 AK alive. That will stay in the hands of Flit. Everyone else reinvests around it. 2 A1Ss, FAMAS, MP9. And all the nades they need for a good defense on this CT side. Going back to basics at mid here. They set up for it, going contact, flash over the top, run on in. James playing anti, looking down towards the lane, so it's easy for them to line it up. So no shenanigans here, they get through it, make a bit of money on Electronic as well. So the recovery's starting. It's the key rounds though, it's the buys. That's where we've seen Sashi being able to convert a lot of these rounds. So round 19, an important one here. Jame on the AWP for the first time though. This is the first time we've seen the AWP entire game, Vince.
You might be spot on with that one, yeah. We were discussing how we didn't see it on the first half for Lucky. I don't remember seeing it for Jame either on the T half, so you may very well be right. I think it also goes to show how scrappy and back and forth the economies have been, like tethered and torn. That last round, it real feels good for VP. Building that confidence, building the back, but you got to do something with it. And Mr. once again, entries for days, up to 8 or 9 at this point. Sure, he's tagged, but Jame with an off angle needs to hit the shot and back away. And even with that kill, it may not end up mattering unless they can hold on. And Norbert putting them into that position to maybe fend off the onslaught.
They had done the hard part, fighting out mid. But a rough duel versus the FAMAS of Norbert sends them back into an equal situation. This could still favor Sashi late round. Running the clock down somewhat as well, and there's still 2 more smokes in play for the CTs. One of them is the pocket of Jame though, and he's playing aggressive inside of the donut, looking for the mid-cross in case they try and sneak up through red room, go for the wrap round the back, or the late rotate off on towards the A site. Instead it's the walk on in. Tons of nades on Queez. Flit in the cubby, back up from Norbert. He's watching for the cave run out.
That's a good setup, isn't it? They have at least cordoned off and isolated the two CTs from one another. Flip gets baited in from Norbert, who lays down the hammer. 1-for-1 trade back onto the site. Lucky on 20 kills up against Jame. A battle of the AWPers, but an assault rifle facing the sniper. And although Jame has an incendiary and a smoke, there is currently no kit for him to use. There's one dropped around the site, I think. He's not sure as to where Lucky's backed off to. And Lucky watching the narrowest of angles on the entry. It's going to be an awkward one for Jame. You assume that he's going to peek this one, but it's whether he's scared about cave presence being a possibility. Molly tossed in and gives himself up to the side. And Lucky will oblige, pushing him off his mortal coil and getting Sashi 5 map points on VP's choice of Ancient.
Huge round. Plays an angle for the headshot. Knows it was the AWP that was left last alive. Sets himself up. It looked a bit messy on the run out here as well. You're thinking Norbert and Flip were playing off each other nicely to bait the attention. It was a good crossfire. But Lucky gets it over the finish line. Iceberg absolutely erupting there, isn't he?
The Berserker rallying cry.
Oh, mate, they popped the bloodlust. Third tactical pause going to be used. Fair enough. I mean, you're one round away from closing this. Energy's at an all-time high as well. And the investment there, coming back to haunt him a little bit. I believe there's an AWP dropped. Saw Jane pick it up, but where's that bad boy gone? Limited nades as well. It's actually just winning these openers so consistently, man.
It's Mister, isn't it? 7 opening picks. Meanwhile, on the entirety of VP, you have 5 opening picks in 19 rounds coming into the 20th. That is just simply not good enough.
You might be able to bait him in here. You fire off the shots with the 5-7, hoping that Jame can find impact with the AWP, but the Molotov just isolates him. He's sent off to the burn sword instantly, and you can't recover the weapon. Oh, it's out of hand's reach. Still a duo inside the donut. But again, another first pick. A 1-for-1 trade, Electronic. He wants to go for the run, grab the AWP, the smash and grab, but it's more smash from the side as Sashi is there cracking in the heads. And Norbert's the only one left. Clutch or bust. This is a 13th round for Sashi. They'll pack it up. Move on to Inferno. And he's walking right in. Tap's good from Lucky, straight to the face. Iceberg keeps it calm. They know they're one away from the major. Don't celebrate too early.
Yes, still work to do, but so far so good for Sashi, able to overcome Virtus.pro on the first map here. And
Key, obviously, the man that has had a major pedigree previously, right? Attending back at PGL Stockholm 2021 with Astralis, he was showing up massively. The only key round there was Woxic got a 4K to shut him down. Outside of that, it was all Sashi the whole way through. So 2 good ticks in the Inferno column. And because they won Ancient, they've set us up to actually close it here. And obviously the difference is this time around, it's not another game. It's not another stepping stone. It's you securing all 5 of these players attending the Shanghai Perfect World Major. It would be huge for Sashi. They've been the kings of grinding online Counter-Strike, finding their way through these online qualifiers, but at the LAN events, they always fall at the final hurdle. Here, though, Vince, it means so much more for all 5 of them and the organization that would get its debut into the Valve Majors.
Yeah, I mean, this would just be astronomical for Sashi and these players as well. And they've been on the periphery for quite some time, going back to the Copenhagen RMRs, obviously, the qualifications that we casted a bunch of them in.
Yeah.
They've been a team that caught our eye very early on as being that potential next big Danish team. And they're on the brink of getting a huge victory here and securing that spot. Now, yesterday when they played on the T side, it was Cabby. He was a man possessed, 112 ADR, tons of kills and damage. We'll see if he can emulate that one more time. Electronic gets smoked off on the brackets. They're looking to try and wrap around here. Somehow he goes down, but Norbert gets 3 kills in quick succession. And although Queez comes out of the balcony and takes one of his own, Norbert may have just saved this round.
Blockbuster pistol from him. Has he read this one right? He's walking up for the next fight, hits the headshot. This could be the ace for Norbert to kick off the pistol round. 4 already in the pocket. And he's got the smoke. He can focus on the defuse here. You're back towards pit side in the 1v2. With it being covered, he's just going to outright defuse it. Takes the round, won't give a damn that he doesn't get the ace. As they confirm that one. Great play from Norbert when they came running in through the smoke towards the mini pit. Lovely connections. And heads up call from the CTs on the response fin. So first round going the way of VP. And obviously we've been discussing the quality of those pistol rounds for Sashi. This time it's all Norbert.
Oh yeah, just a ridiculous opening 3 and then finalizes with the 4. And as you say, once the smoke goes down and the defuse starts to come in, the bomb's not planted for that position. He can't just spam it and his safe spot. He has to go out into the open. And when you consider that Norbert started Ancient 0 and 6, by the way, he had a horrible map overall. Yeah. That's one hell of a way to make your entrance here on Inferno. Now with the post plan, Sashi coming with some weapons, Flip pushing down, Banana aggressively, the flash is on point. Mister gets both!
How on earth has he gotten away with both of the kills? Mister's blind, but still fragging. The Daredevil on the server. And this really is turning into a bit of a Hell's Kitchen. You've got to turn up the temperature, try and slow them down. It's James that's got the incendiary. He's looking for the jiggle. As soon as he catches contact, dash that in, just stay alive. SMG to put to use. In reality though, I mean, holding on to the weapons they've got over towards the A side, that's the best call. For James, he's hoping someone comes barreling through the smoke, looking to seize the initiative. Now has the posture off, so it's a free player save, instant reset. Oh, keeping these 3 weapons alive, it is like the only blessing they have. If they lost these, especially with the knock-on effect to the economy, it'd be head in hands early. How did he get both at Banana?
And there's like 2 or 3 flashes tossed in. I think one of them was a CT flash that just went horribly wrong. I mean, he was a man possessed on Ancient. The amount of entries.
Oh, yeah.
Like an 80% entry success rate. Tons of kills. Like, obviously, he's got himself prepared for this match, and he's feeling it right now. But, yeah, that is a huge fumble if you're VP. They wanted to get aggressive down Banana and take control and command of the position. Cabby goes down to Norbert from the back. But they're just fine with that outcome. It was worth the gamble of taking a weapon or 2 away from VP. And when you look at the stats for VP on Inferno, it is pretty bleak, but they've only played it 3 times. And to be fair to them as well, it may be a bit of a false narrative in the sense that they did lose to Na'Vi, fair enough, one of the best teams on the planet, of course, and Furia. But they lost 13-4 and 13-6 and never really had a chance in the game. That is maybe where the pause for thought comes in. And on top of that, we know Sashi are very good. 80% win rate after 10 maps played.
The T side of Inferno, it goes back to one of our original talking points, which is how good they are with their utility. The offensive lineups that they utilize going in for the fast B hits, they were able to find themselves so much banana control in the game versus Eternal Fire. Always getting the damage in. This time it's not as clean as they would have liked. They take a bit of chip damage onto Cabby and Lucky. They've still got nades, smokes most importantly. 3 players grouped up, playing close towards the balcony side with Jame in position on Arch, so it really is only Flit. Best case scenario for him as the execute comes over, he tries to slow it down with the smoke. But again, finding no impact here, it probably will be another round where you're just cycling it out.
Yeah, this would have to be basically a raid boss round for Flit. He's got nearly a second. It looked like that spray may transfer into the head of Mister. But he gets his 5th of the round, and it will be Sashi dialing in the digits for a second. So I'm not surprised that James is even getting up close here, but he wants to toss in a grenade and try and finish off one of the stragglers. They have already, of course, called this round as a save, though. You can see the bulk of the CTs are back on A. Allows them to come back into the next round. Of course, they did fully invest into this one. But yes, Sashi off to a 2-1 lead. And what's also a little bit scary here is we know Cabby is very good on the T side of Inferno. But again, it's Mister that has started so very well. There's a lot of threats on this Sashi team.
And they love conditioning teams to always be so paranoid about the early B starts as well. They'll fight for banana control, they'll always barrel in, they'll try and give as good as they get to look to make you believe it's going to be those consistent gravitations towards the B site. Late round, it tends to be the arch wraps where they fall back and try and hit out towards A. So if it ever gets tight on time, we'll see if Sashi adapt. Paul's going to be called in here. I mean, fair enough, obviously. Coming into it, Norbert, big round on the pistol, right? You're thinking, oh, here we go. VP waking up, trying to find their groove on their CT start. Instant reset round. Losing a couple now. Piece it together. Come back in with a game plan. Do you prefer the standing or sitting coach method?
Standing, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like I would respond more to that because it has a certain level of energy to it. And I don't know. I feel like it's... I feel like if I was a player in this position, I would want an IGL that was more sort of like a leader of men alongside tactics and those kinds of things.
So you're basing it off height? Like, he might be bad at calls, but he's 7 foot?
Not yeah. Not necessarily height. I mean, if that was the case, Taz would probably be the best coach in the world, right?
Yeah, fair play.
He's a large man. I think it's that energy that's behind it. It makes you want to believe and follow somebody.
Yeah, the passion,
you know,
the sort
like
of
the
way
passion,
you inspire players.
You saw that from Ash with Gamer Legion, like animated, stood up, like constantly trying to rally the troops and everything. So yeah, for me, I think standing is the way to go.
Ash has got the best coach animations, hand down. Like the way he sort of throws out the nade sets with his hands, where he's like, look, you got to go for the flashes. So animated, so fun to watch.
Death's pretty good for that as well. We saw from
True.
He was dancing at times as well.
Mate, UK coaches. That's what we got. We make up for it. We make up for it. And this is one of these rounds as well we were touching on. Like, if they're not going for the B hits, it's always these wraps round arch side. This is what they love playing for. Got a bit messy at times versus Eternal Fire, but they've been besting VP at every turn in the head-to-head. Ooh, you talk about heads. None left. Headless Flit. An Electronic inside of the smoke. It's all getting a bit awkward on the run out. I mean, they find 2 picks straight back. Again, you've got map control to play with here, though. Both players on the bomb site, they might not know about Cabby. Trigger discipline's good for one. He's going to see if he can line up for the second first. Flicks back across, but James readjusted. And suddenly it's just Mr. Left in the 1 versus 1. 25 seconds on the clock. B-lines it. A marathon straight towards the B bomb site. James left the clutch. Has a HE, though.
He does. There's going to be a smoke for the cross at least. So James may be unsure as to where he's actually planting. Instead, James is going to blow open, but he's behind the fountain. Diligent from Mr. We saw him exploit archers so many times against Eternal Fire, but end on the B site. James, in the meanwhile, in the periphery of the smoke comes through and survives with 7 HP. Mr. so nearly the hero again that Sashi desperately needed, but James clutches out with a 3K.
Oddly, that round really is giving me flashbacks of some of the rounds we were seeing versus Eternal Fire on their wraps on Archduke. This is kind of what was happening to him, right? It gets a bit disjointed, especially this. I thought this was kind of the round-winning play, actually, with the tuck-in towards Mini Pit. And Mr., as much as he was racking up huge rounds on Ancient, God, that one's really got to him as well. Frustrated in the clutch. You know how close you are. That's got to be the crazy thing for all of these players, right? It's only Lucky that's attended a major before on this team. For everyone else, you're so close to the dream. Everything you fight for, every reason you wake up, you get those deathmatch hours in, you grind Counter-Strike. It's on the tip of your tongue, just don't give it up.
They know how close they were to taking a 3-1, but more importantly, shredding the money for VP. Ton of grenades, smokes, being exploited by Mr. Aggressive once again, getting the opening pick. This man has been undeniable. VP desperately tried to tame him, but he refuses, man. He is on a different level today.
He's playing to the pedigree of the position he's in. Beautiful rounds to see. Passion on his face as well when he's playing this. Wonderful human element of it. Down to a minute here. It is going to be the B execute. Smokes, Molotov, and the flash over the top. Prime, James, scoped up, looking for the run out. He's always good for one on these, but he's getting a bit paranoid about the hit. Tries to readjust the angle. You've got support of Electronic. There's the first face. Connects onto one. Smokes down, but Mr. gets through it. Tucks in towards the pit. But Jane, quick flick. Another kill. One by one, mauling them. No room for trades. Such individual fights and all down to one man with 24 seconds. Vastly outgunned on the site.
He's using that smoke as a bit of a reprieve, but once that clears, he's going to get shut down in the back. Surprised he's still alive. HE over on the Shadow, decent damage, but Fame more than healthy enough to withstand it. You know, as much as we were saying that Sashi are a level above when it comes to like these set plays and utility usage, that was a pristine round for pop flashes and counter flashes on VP. They tossed in 3 or 4, consistently blinding the bulk of the aggression on Sashi. Mr. was fully blinded for like 5-6 seconds, and there was no possibility for the avenging kills to come in because they were just being forced back from all the utility. Really good hold overall for VP. That's much more like what we expect to see from them.
Mr. running straight back through the smoke. Oh, taps with a Tech 9. Softens up Flit. But cannot kill him. The rest of the squad gravitating towards brackets. 2 Deagles in play in the hands of Cabby and Lucky. Lucky trying to find his first frag of the game here. They bait the crosshair on the jump out towards Library side. Iceberg running up close, making it awkward for the AWPer, but the backstab contingent is there. And they're just looking to try and make this one a bit more costly, see if they can strip weapons from them and potentially squeeze out a bomb plant. Electronic on the balcony, good for the defense on Cabby though, and opportunities are getting slimmer and slimmer the longer this one goes on.
The only pause for concern on the side of Sashi, even though it is still pretty early on into the game, is it is very top heavy with Mr. I mean, the rest of his team combined have 3 kills so far, and the ADR is incredibly low. You can see there 1, 14, 19. Lucky's not going to be faring much better, and then 155. One of these players is not like the others. And while it is early days, and they can certainly turn that one around, especially with rifles coming in, if that continues to be the case for another couple of rounds, that's where VP can start to really make some serious headway between themselves and Sashi. Cabby yet to get really into this game. Iceberg, another solid T-side player. Again, we're expecting to see Lucky pop off when it's the CT side, not so much on the T half. But Mr. can't do all this alone.
And that's the thing with Lucky. He is far more willing to play that sort of hybrid rifler into the AWPer role when he's comfortable on his CT sides. We saw it in Ancient where he really didn't even want the scope once. He had opportunities to pick it up off the floor, just overlooked it. They wolfpack a lot on this map. There's early B openers, late A finishes on the R trap. And that's why we were singing their praises due to the trades. But obviously, if the squad's starting to cool off a little bit, potentially just feeling overwhelmed in the angles they're fighting from, it's not painting the prettiest picture for them. But for VP, situation you're in, if you want to go to the Major today, you've got to lock this one down. Take it to a third map. That's the only timeline they have to close this. Slower default this time around from Sashi. Oh, 2 players up inside of the apartments though. Jamie and Electronic supporting each other. Walk into this slow, you're going to be a dead man.
Wouldn't anticipate the double peek. Electronic in the meanwhile, though, an important trade goes the way of one of the star players on VP, who was very much a dull presence on Ancient. Good to see that he is arriving now, though. That could be another win condition coming through. Another very good counter flash, keeping Sashi away from fully exploding onto the site. And although they have time on the clock, they've expended all of their utility for that one hit. You can see there's tons of smokes down that are about to fade. They've only got a Molotov to play with, and they must know that there's going to be at least 1 player on the A site, if not 2. And with each passing second, there's a higher % chance that Flip will also trade across to the A side. Oh, this is looking bleak right now for Sashi. They've at least picked up a bit more util there. Gives them a couple more options to play with.
No flashbang, though. That's the problematic part for me. You're hoping you can just bait out the crosshair and then get the quick trade-off. They run straight in. Electronic finds one, dips down. Mr. still proving that he can do the business in these kind of rounds. They're calling for the rotate back now, so you do have a window of opportunity to at least confirm the plant. They can't deny it. They can still look to win it off the back of the retake. Incendiary's good as well to soften up Iceberg and move him into a worse angle. Another round that relies so heavily on Mister here.
And Norbert, if he can strike from above onto Mister, that's the round done. Iceberg is way too low to deal with that. Norbert in position. Been a bit quiet since the pistol round. But that kill, so impactful, so vital. VP may concede the bomb plant, but they've got the 5-2 lead they were looking for. And Sashi's money's in this weird middle of the pack area where you could maybe justify a buy, but it's going to be far from ideal. Lucky's still on 0. The ADR is so grim for Sashi. It's kind of what I was talking about before. Like, Mister's got 3 of the 4 opening picks on their team. He's out damaging everybody else on the team additionally.
Yeah, puts it into perspective how rough it is right now. It's their T side struggling to really find much impact. Oh, mid push down for Electronic. Playing on the close angle Cubby. He can backstab onto this. Potentially double up as well. There's no room to burst round the back. They're a bit more paranoid about top mid, so Iceberg has to go in late, and they're already set up for it. Could potentially get the tap off onto the AWP Jane, but you've missed your opportunity. This is going horrifically wrong for them. Able to burst up second mid, go for a fast play towards the A site with the lurks down on T-steps, but nothing gained on this one. Round 8 is a dud.
It most certainly is. Good news, though, on the side of Sashi is it was a half-buy investment. Therefore, they're going to have a full investment coming up. But yeah, they are running out of steam a little bit. I also wonder as well, Jackie, like, could this be a bit of doubt creeping in? Is this a case of realizing that they are on the brink of doing something truly special, a life-changing moment for some of these players? That's where you've just got to put that out of your mind and focus on the here and now. You've got one map up. You're in such a good position right now. And sure, it's 2-6. It's looking bad, but we know their CT side is rock solid. If they can get 4 or 5, I think that could be good enough. But you don't want to psych yourself out.
Well, it's a faster bracket hits on this one. Cabby straight in round quads. Jane snipes down onto the first, gets himself into a good angle to support as well. Cabby still trying to make plays, but look at Iceberg's angle. He tucks in, even taking the fight on the swing back out towards Library, but they've read him like a book. And you're eating the nades. 2 thrown in, trapped in position. James Crosshair ready to rumble. And Sashi switching it up, going for the tempo hit. Fast round quad, but nothing gained. The difference is here as well, you know, versus Eternal Fire, it felt like they were really giving as good as they get, and they were always being able to take top banana control, make it uncomfortable for the setups towards the B site. Almost feels like they're paranoid about B now. They feel like they're just losing out on the hits. You funnel yourself for a fast hit on A, and the AWP's there, dismantled.
I mean, James comes under a lot of scrutiny, especially in this last sort of 6 to 9 months, but that is an exceptionally good round. 3 picks. Calm under heavy duress. Exactly what you're looking for from an IGL AWP. This will be feeling very comfortable right about now on VP. Their money on quite a few players is brimming. Over 10k on 3. James, one of them, and then you got Fame at 7.7k. It's really only Norbert that's struggling a little bit, and they're going to be good to buy probably for the rest of this half now. In fact, definitely for the rest of the half. We're getting towards the end stage, and Electronic decides to push through on the bedroom side. They try to double stack it, but Cabby plucks Flit out of the air, and he knows that Electronic's up close too. So one of the first times that we've been into a 1-for-1 early trade that's maybe exploitable from Sashi's perspective in quite some time. But what do they do with this momentary weakness that VP is suffering?
They took the fast control at top banana as well with the molly and the deep smoke. And they've already walked off from this. The Cubby angle, though, if they don't find this pick onto Electronic, you're going to be baited into the scope of James. Your attention's on him. He can backstab, peeks out. Good for the headshot, uppercut onto Lucky. Looking so timid on these trades. Before, it was quick reactions from Sashi. This time, it's all Cabby in the round, and nothing more to be said from him. Mr. playing a great game, but with such little health and vastly outnumbered, runs into the abattoir of Arch, and Fame chops him up.
Some excellent protocols and bait and switches, though, to be fair to VP. Having Electronic in the cubby and then watching from the library bracket side. And Electronic peaks afterwards because you're like, oh, they probably have one around on the quad or maybe pit, maybe balcony, where Electronic's played quite a few times already. VP have got a really good read on the CT side. And it's been toothless from Sashi. Discussed it quite a few times. It's been kind of a one-horse race on their side of things, and this time Flint shutting down Mr. Molotov underneath his feet and a barrage of bullets to his chest. And VP gained the advantage again, and banana control on top of it.
Just can't win out on these openers towards Banana whatsoever. Fame stays alive on 8 health, but he's another presence on the server. Battle of attrition's going to favor them. He can just walk back off. 2 players set up on the balcony as well. So VP really keeping them guessing if they go back towards the late A here. And that's what we've seen, right? If it goes wrong towards Banana, you walk up, try and fight brackets. It's been the same result quite a few times. Iceberg was looking for the pick back. Oh, don't give Jame an inch on this one.
Yeah, I did feel that, really, when it was the aggression that Sashi was showing against Eternal Fire, that's what got them the wins. Just this, like, ruthless aggression style of run and gun in your face, not let Eternal Fire really get stabilized or comfortable, but they've not been able to shake VP out. They've not been able to take them out of their comfort zone and mess with that balance. And these slow and steady rounds don't really pay in their favor for the most part from what we've seen over the duration of the RMRs, especially on the T side at least. They do get the 1 pick into Apps, which is onto Fame. They're gonna have to come through this smoke, and Norbert delivers with 3. Shuts it down before it can get in full motion. VP 9 and 2. They're making this look so straightforward.
It feels like the names have just been flipped from the first map. And the difference is here as well, like the individuals that were a little bit slow to the boil, they're giving it right now. Electronic 11-5, far closer to what we expected from him. It was an off game. And that's Ancient what we expected him to be, the big dog on the server. Norbert coming alive in the pistol round, still being able to find his impact as well. Jame almost feels immortal. Only gone down twice. He's kept the AWP alive in so many situations. 13 frags. Deep nade in. Mr. He keeps trying it. We've seen previously how good his control towards Banana can be. It felt like, you know, sort of had plot armor in a few of the rounds we've seen from over the course of the RMRs. But on this one, always eating the HEs, always forcing them to funnel off, go for the fast hit towards Arch. James in position again, scoped up.
Well, he's playing right now, top of the charts and 14 and 2. Don't expect him to miss these shots. He gets tanked down to 34, but once again, the CT's just repelling the push, annulling any of this aggression. Lucky still yet to get a single kill on this first half. May very well finish the half on 0. And Queez isn't faring much better. About to get shut down in the back from a proactive play on Electronic. Lucky at least gets 1. But damaged in the process. Now under heavy duress. Doesn't have control over the bomb either. Smoke to try and buy him some time. Second frag through, but it doesn't matter. VP, 10 rounds dialed in.
Just been absolutely owned there. Now, I know obviously we were saying, like, their CT side is good. Problem is, a lot of the pieces that hinges on is, like, Lucky being able to play a great game round towards quad side with the AWP. He was very proactive with the picks he was finding. He might not even get that chance. Lose a pistol. It could be a slippery slope into a third map quite quickly. Again, you know, for the fact it's Inferno, Vince, doesn't feel like this game's been live for very long.
No, that's very true. And I see all of your points. Yeah, we're kind of building up this idea of like, yes, actually CT side is really good if they can just hold on. Well, it's not this good.
No.
It's not to the point where you've got 2 rounds and, like you say, the pistol, which is always important, though. It's basically do or die. You know, you lose this, you're pretty much going to Mirage. Even with a win here, you need to have a significant step up in performance from Lucky. Realistically, you could say the same for Iceberg, who's on 3 kills. He's normally up there in terms of the fragging. Also the guy that's getting loud and energetic and really trying to rally everybody else. Well, he's been silent. He's not had anything to be hype about in that first half.
And we've seen that haunt them before, where, you know, he really does get a little bit too in the moment and then realizes, like, oh, okay, when we go on a losing streak, the energy's just not there. No one's firing everyone up, so he all starts to get a bit more frustrated. Mystic goes quiet. And this round, he might be able to support off the back of Cabby's play, though. 2 of them inside a boiler. They peek up, hearing all the footsteps, but Electronic good with the Glock. Norbert even goes back in for more. And you're wrapping straight into the bomb site. Lucky with the Julies, but can he really make a play? Inside of the pit. Swings out on the first. Bomb going to be going down. They're trying to bait out the face as well. He's got backup. They can play together here. They're winning their duels individually. And that tap onto Fame leaves him so low. You can try jump straight on this. Fame will backstab onto 1. No kit for them either. It's got to be the full defuse on this, Vince.
Yeah, the kit went down in arches. So it's even difficult to pick up, but that probably is it now. The full defuse comes in, but he pulls off the defuse, and now Queez tries to take the action to the T's. Flitz wasting all the time. They lost their kit in arch, and that basically was it. He goes back onto the site, but he don't have time. He has to just back out of there.
And there's the kit. The important piece that they didn't have. Could have been the round for him. And that's soul crushing. That's a rough one. You see the reaction on his face, feeling like he's let it slip. Great duo there from Electronic and Norbert on the fight back. The 2-player setup inside a boiler, hoping to catch him off guard, but it just doesn't work. And this is what I was talking about, the important piece that they didn't have. Could have been the round for him. And that's soul crushing. That's a rough one. You see the reaction on his face, feeling like he's let it slip. Great duo there from Electronic and Norbert on the fight back. The 2-player setup inside a boiler, hoping to catch him off guard, but it just doesn't work. And this is what I was talking about, right? If we were really setting this up for Lucky to be sort of the star of the show, he's been slow on his T-half. We've seen that before, but the resurgence is not going to come around in the form of the AWP. It's got to be forced early, because otherwise you're just going to have no buffer of rounds. This could be over. We could be looking at Mirage before it even starts. Trying to play at least with weapons they've got. They go for the mid-control push. Get ahead of this. Actually working out really nicely for them. But Norbert, he's been coming alive, and it's this duo again, Vince. They drag it straight back. All of the weapons they had, all the benefits, that's been wiped away. You're down to 2 players with just Eagles, and the bomb site's been taken.
Electronic going to go for that full plant and behind a smoke that's just been deployed. They do manage to get their hands on the AK. I think there was a couple of FAMASs. There's a ton of weapons, to be fair, strewn across middle. But even if Sashi can get back on the site with that kit and get the defuse in, their next buy is still going to be so bleak that they're going to be up against it from here on out. And that's a big if, because Electronic's on the back of the site, gets the spray down, and he's looking for another kill, but Queez puts him out and gives Sashi an opportunity, the smallest of chances to maybe grind their way back in. It's going to have to be flawless from here on out. 3-11. VP may tap out and realize we've got such a buffer of rounds we don't have to force, even though they know that Sashi's money is going to be pretty bad. Yeah, so something like a Hero AK makes a lot more sense. Try and do damage, but don't fully commit to this round.
Yeah, you can still chase the economy. One flash, one smoke as well. That could be key late round. Flick gets the smoke off towards top banana. All the initial nades dumped in. That's all the offensive utility gone for them. Spam's good though. Connections across. Trying to recover the AK. Oh, running around inside of the smoke. You hear the footsteps as he was looking to grab that gun and scavenge it back into play. It still does pass hands as it goes flinged off his corpse into the hands of Fame. But how costly can they make that? That's what they were looking to do. See if they can make it uncomfortable for Sashi, of course. Any weapons you get out of their hands, Even if you lose the round, you've got such a big buffer. You just want to make it rough for them on their CT side start, setting yourself up for the win.
James using this as a tactical timeout, you can see. In deep conversation as they sit back and utilize these 55 seconds. Keep the AK alive for the next round. Make sure everyone's on the same page. They will have to go out and die, obviously, at some point with these Glocks. Electronics about to go ahead and do just that through on Boiler's side, having a quick look as well. Relaying the information, too, that there's certain sort of set plays and set positions that they can say, right, Lucky's been up on quad one time. Keep an eye out for that going forward. But now James going to start to make a move over onto the B site into his inevitable demise. Fourth round will be coming towards Sashi, and they'll grab it with both hands, but it does feel like the tables have entirely turned and like flipped over. It's now like Sashi that are basically playing for pride, like VP were on Ancient.
Yeah, it's been VP that are ruling the roost. AK held on to for fame. He can still have enough cash to buy himself Kevlar. That's why he felt comfortable holding on to the weapon. Nade's dropped over. Investment out for the rest of the squad. Norbert with a Mac. Electronic with a Tech 9 in his hands. Economy still brittle for the CT side, though. You could break them. Round 16 going live. It's all about grinding this game out, the consistent rounds, again and again for the CTs. Opening Gambit. Double HE off the corner. Could bounce right to the face of Iceberg, soften him up. That's a nice double HE. Left with 34. Finds impact, at least, with the backup of the Incendiary. So 2 picks. They slow down the initial hit.
He's just getting a bit lost in the sauce there, juggling weapons over and over again. Fortunately, he didn't get pushed. And on 9 HP, he's going to replenish that smoke. Takes the AK as well. And still playing up close. This is surprising. Because you know if the one bullet comes through the smoke or if a HE is lobbed over there, you're very likely going to get put down in your place. Now backs off. And if they can keep all 5 players alive here, Sashi, this does the world of good to their overall standing. It allows them to build up that economy. They can continue to run with these bonus rounds. If Lucky dies at some point, or if somebody else does, they can trade weapons, get Lucky on that AWP, and that's where things start to get interesting. Spray's decent from Iceberg. The low player is now finalized. Mister, double smoked off. Could prove to be costly. Maybe want to get a smoke down on Coffins or a second smoke on CT afterwards. But it's been blown open. Oh, the frag down from Norbert. And somehow he survives on 2 HP. They've already done so much damage in this round, and it's no longer guaranteed Sashi even get this.
You need another pick, and you need one soon. Time's expiring on this. James tucked himself into the off-angle close. Oh, the trigger discipline. They're going to run right by. They have no idea. Labored spray, though. It all goes wrong. And Norbert with 2 health left to clutch it. Time is so tight on this one. He wants to peek out close towards the bomb site. Takes down the first man. Someone's going to jump on it. Oh, scary scenes. Sashi find a 5th. But considering what they had on that one, Vince, how is this so close?
Sashi have got to make it interesting, Jackie. That's all I can think about that one. I mean, yeah, let's also put it into context. James has had a horrible whiff.
Yeah.
He could and should have got both kills.
Should have been the round.
Then the round's over. The fact that he doesn't get 1 kill is kind of crazy. I can only assume he thought he had the first frag and was already sort of entertaining the idea of transitioning across to the second. But that is at great cost to multiple players. Iceberg, 600, Mister, 650. They do have the AWP, though. Finally, Lucky has one to play with. Kind of run and gun up on the banana. Down to 52, Flip will fall. But yeah, that was certainly a round of Counter-Strike, Jackie.
Yeah, it's one of the rounds of the RMR. Could be a horrific moment to have replaying, though. James going to be waking up in cold sweats if somehow Sashi are able to bring this one back. A key round would have been match point for them. Oh, he's seen the barrel. Lucky! Fires out the warning shot. There's the peek on quad side, but as soon as those pistols get in lethal range, it becomes problematic. But this man can be so lethal. Good for the first two. Slows down the initial push. 40 seconds on the clock. Flashover's perfect. Lets him get up close, and he's rearmed himself with the AK. Boost over for Lucky. Can you redeem yourself?
Yeah, Smoke was so good at isolating Quiz from the rest of the teammates. They divided and conquered him, segregated, and then put him out of his misery. Another smoke put into play. You say, can Lucky make amends? I think he may have spotted him, but he also realizes when that smoke clears, he's out in the open. He's susceptible to being fragged. Time ticking away. They need to start making moves onto the site right now. Mister's going to be pulling the puck first and getting out there, but it's Lucky that opens up. James, in the meanwhile, gets one, but traded back. And with the kit, there will be enough time. Another ridiculously close round that Sashi pick up on VP with a half bite at best.
What on earth? Felt like it was all going so wrong. And they find a way back in, you pull off the retake. All they're looking for is the rounds. Doesn't matter how they get them right now. As long as they can actually keep their economy above water and keep consistently grinding these, then yeah, they're all of a chance. Last time out here, though. Third and final one called in. Final opportunity for everyone to chat amongst themselves, reset mentally, go back into it. Iceberg very vocal on these. Looks different, though, doesn't he, in terms of his composure? How we were seeing him pop off throughout the flow of rounds previously. Every time they win, like, he is the guy that erupts again and again, always screaming, targeting each player on his team, like pointing out, like, you had a sick play. This time it's a lot more sort of composed. He's looking to just think about the overall round, try and keep in his own head, call a great game, and find a way to bring it back. But your hardest test is yet to come. VP, reinvestments there. James got the T side AWP. Lucky, we were talking about the fact, right, he needs to be a big boon. CT side AWPer. It's where he can deliver, Vince. But how hot's he feeling?
Well, he missed that shot onto the Tech9 player, right? The Tech9 just round the corner and he shot a bit preemptively, and that effectively cost his team a couple deaths and additionally the post plant. So he needs to get locked in now. He needs to start finding some kind of form. Sashi have done a really good job of just hanging in there, keeping themselves in this game somehow, some way. Like you say, grinding out the rounds. It doesn't matter how you get them. Still an AK as well on the CT side. Jump spotting his Iceberg, tries to back away and nearly gets punished. Dropped to 48, and that HE drops him even further. But he does have backup in the form of Mister. Not much utility between the two of them, though. A smoke and a flash, that's all they have.
Might be too late to get it off in time as well, but you're going to throw it down, but they're already ahead of the smoke. Fame straight through. Rest of the squad's now coming in. You're trapped on the site. Iceberg isn't cleared out towards second oranges. He's able to get away with one, meaning you can peek up on the elevated angle, spam over the smoke. Mister gets impact back onto electronic. And the cavalry starting to rotate. Wrapping out through library and looking to assist the squad. Couple nades left as well. 2 HEs, got the double flash. They've all got kits. So time isn't the issue. It's about being able to actually play off the back of this one. Seen a bit of skin. Jane knows. Oh, they nearly given the double up. Collateral damage is James in the back of the bomb site. An angle he's so comfortable in. Relying on his troops to fight for him with a single point of health. Doesn't take the shot. They get up close. Pre-fire's good. Flit. Left to clutch at top banana. And nothing more in the round. He's got to run away. Oh, the volley. Oh, mate, if it spread a little bit more.
I saw Lucky go down. I thought that was a diffuser for a split second, and I thought it also fully spread to deny the defuse for a little bit longer.
He's touching his toes.
Oh my goodness.
There would have been no time.
He's got his fireproof shoes on. He's all right. I mean, James was super fortunate, by the way. They double naded him down on the new box, and he was able to survive on one.
Oh, God.
Again, though, they hold on. They hang in there.
They're answering for now. Ooh. And this is what we were talking about. This is what I wanted to see. Those proactive picks from Lucky, where he reps himself, where he goes out swinging. Uppercut's good. It's on to Norbert as well. And he's had some key rounds. Like the multi-frags he's had, it's all been impact. It's been in cheeky angles where he's able to make the difference in a key round for them. So him going down earlier, that's a big scalp to find. Don't count them out though. Somehow VP, they've been answering back over the course of this game.
Oh, very important trade here. Iceberg needs to get at least one, and he goes down without too much damage inflicted. You can see they were trying to supply the pop flash for Mister's position on Coffin. He's not going to be able to do too much to stop this push. You anticipate the smoke's going to be here sooner rather than later. Double smoke it as well. In different angles, so the smoke wouldn't be cleared from one HE. Not fully exploited anyway, but Mister is keeping VP uncomfortable, keeping them weak. Double nades come in. Fame somehow survives. Down to 17. He falls, but a lot of this is going to be on James and Electronic shoulders. Can they bait out the CTs into the open? James already struck once, changing up his angles. An extra grenade finalizes Fame. And now Electronic from the boxes will pivot in before dropping into Shadow. Fades away into the shroud of that sanctuary, but Quez is going to bring it back into the light. Oh. Damage done from James, but there is the counter frag from Lucky. And again, Sashi, yet another round, come back and repossess the site, get the defuse, and somehow survive.
The difference the leg makes. Another round where James so close to being able to get it over the finish line and grab match point for them. But look at the round timeline. It's so ridiculous, right? Like they take the pistol with ease and then it's just consistently been Sashi round after round. They're all retakes, nearly every round. It's off the back of a retake into the defuse. This is carnage. I mean, Sashi, now I'm believing. You've made it to 8.
And this is exactly what happened against Eternal Fire yesterday.
Yeah.
How many times were they 2, 3 players down and they clutched? The clutch factor was off the charts, and it's the same here again. Some of these rounds, they had no right to even be close into. A lot of those rounds, teams would have gave up and played for overtime. But Sashi are here, they're like, nah, we want to win this in regulation. And you can't blame them. Their success rate's crazy. 4 rounds in a row with a defuse. But because of consistent buys and round loss bonus, VP are able to keep churning out these full investments, these rifles, this AWP again for James. 20 kills, by the way. He's had a great map.
Flick gets a visual on the jump up. Across the head of Iceberg, utility dumped in, deep HE, most of it onto James. Flashed up close, expecting the run in. They don't clear car, it could be an issue. 1-for-1 trade. Fame upgrades off the Galil to the A1S. So a 4v4, single player on the B-bomb side, running dry on utility though. He's got nothing left in the back pockets. Unless there's nades drop for him, he's going to be absolutely bone dry on this one. Single HE, that's all he's got.
And VP have been so adamant about hitting this B site time after time after time. Whereas there's been a fast rotation in prior rounds, that's not the case here on Sashi. Like you mentioned, Mister, basically all alone, a one-man army. That's what he was on Ancient. We know he can live up to that mantle. Grenade in, clear out, dust off the cobwebs, but sees nothing on the approach. Decent damage, but unconfirmed. Would like to have the HE to try and deny the bomb plant, but there's no longer any of that available. And Electronic makes moves down into the garden and picks out Mister. And that could be the call for the save. Finally, Sashi run out of lives. Finally, VP looking good to convert a plant into a round.
Nothing left for them on this one. They were seeing if Lucky could get a shot off with the AWP. At that point, it'd be a 3 versus 3. They could still try and go for it, but with no response back. Too little time. Not worth the risk of losing these weapons either. Unstable economy. It's always down to these 1v1s, 1v2. So as much as they've been winning rounds on their CT side, it's never being able to build up and give them a nice flow of cash to work with in the game here. So it doesn't get any easier. Especially with VP now having match point looming over the head of the Danes. The writing on the wall is that Mirage is getting closer and closer. But VP just need to close it. That's the second round we've seen from them on their T-side campaign.
Yeah, only the second, but they've had many, many chances. Smoke deep down on middle this time. And starting with 3 players on B. Now, it's always curious, if a team conditions this hard onto B site, when are they eventually going to hit A? The damage is so good, and Fame, who's had a bit of a slow game, is picking up pace. 1 kill onto Iceberg, missed it down to 48. Is this the moment where eventually Sashi are broken and sent to Mirage? Not if Mr. has something to say about it. Smoke down and darting away with a flash. A different angle, but he gets spotted and fragged out from Norbert, who goes for the pre-fire.
Great read from Norbert. Cabby, break the smoke. See if he can leave them broke. Spamming out the warning shots. Couple tags into the leg of James. Again, though, money's in a real bad spot for them. They didn't have the nades they needed coming into this round, so it's only 2 flashbangs you've got left. That's it. No HEs, no Molotovs. They've got to run in off the back of it. They're trying to get ahead of the smoke, just being spammed back. Can't save this one, boys. Lose this. We're going to the third and final map. They want to go for the boost over the top. Electronic, aware of the possibility. Spamming down. Here comes the hammer of Electronic as VP are able to finish it. They take Inferno, and it all goes down to Mirage.
Indeed, we are going to Mirage, and speaking of things that don't exist, clinical Virtus.pro performances. It's never easy, even when they have a lead, and it's...
The giants of Sashi taking on the behemoths of Virtus.pro, making them both look regular size here in the decider on Mirage. One of these 2 teams will make it to the Shanghai Major off the back of this map. They traded map wins. Ancient 13-7 and Inferno 8-13. With Sashi unable to complete the comeback, they start here on the CT side. VP, what have you got in store for us on the pistol? 2 players down towards the underpass, and Iceberg with the beheading opener shuts down Fame instantly.
Allows him to focus his attention back over onto A, where Cabby's also picked off a player on Tetris. It's going to slow things right down on the side of VP. Norbert, who had a really good start to Inferno after being pretty much absent on Ancient. There's been a lot of inconsistencies back and forth between the 2 teams, but one thing has been throughout, and that's Mr. Nice spray from Lucky. Queez on the periphery gets the better of Flit, and now Jane with the bomb. He's going to be taking a look over on the B side of the map and see if we can get that bomb planted for the next round. We'll open up some options, but Queez has the right idea, pushing up onto the staircase, may get caught offside here. But Queez still nails him. I thought for a second after those first few bullets missed, I thought James was just going to turn on him and just tap his face clean off, but didn't happen.
Yeah, get the 1 tap off with the P250. Felt like it. I was actually getting shades of Norbert again from Inferno on that one when he got his first pick. I was kind of worried for them on the dropout, right? The Julies were a bit shaky to start, but it pans out. So Sashi. CT pistol is theirs, it's locked in. Keeping that good conversion rate going throughout the course of this series. Just going for the hit towards A side though. You've invested in the smokes for the full take. Only 1 player on the scene of the crime right now, and that's Mr. Can he dissipate into the mist, tuck himself in and find a way to play on this one late into the round, calling for the rotate, smokes up. Cabby walks right on through. Gets dinged, but is able to protect his teammate and draw their attention. Up the ladder he goes. And if you can just close this one cleanly from here, it'll still be quite nice. But James looking to make it costly. Gets through the smoke as well. That's Electronic.
Oh, the Glock, though, against head armor. Oh, it's going to be a struggle. I love that smoke that Mr. tossed down as well, by the way. It really did keep the T's from fully exploding out and neutralizing him. isolating him and then trying to push onto the site afterwards. Good round on Sashi. And, you know, speaking of Mister and him being this consistent force, this complete juggernaut that's been unstoppable, coming into the third map, even after losing the second, he's still up at a 1.53 with 102 ADR over the duration of most maps. He is topped by a considerable margin on either team, but over the last 6 months, Mirage has been one of his weakest maps individually. I think we can say, though, Jackie, this isn't an average day for Mister. He's really stepping up where it counts.
No, exactly. It's not your normal game of CS. Everything you fight for, everything they grind for, the games that they win consistently online to make it to events. But their biggest performance could be yet to come if they can stamp a ticket to the major. Fame has other ideas in mind. You remember back for him, his first major appearance was a victory. He took a trophy. It's hard to beat that level. 2 appearances over his career, looking for a third. And for the organization as well, 14 major appearances for Virtus.pro. It would be their 15th. Currently tied 5th all-time with Cloud9 and FaZe. And here into the third round, it's a great start. They keep it close to their chest as well. Don't give the game away. Still got a ton of nades on Norbert for the late round. Flashbangs in the pocket of Flit. Fame walking up through underpass. Could be caught from connector on the peak, and that's Cabby hitting the shot.
Gives a slight advantage as well across to Sashi. So Electronic, who was reinvigorated on Inferno, down in the dumps and doldrums once again. Lucky trying to put that up to use. We could get caught on the side. The headshot is delivered from Jane. And I can focus the attention onto connector, but Mister is able to stand tall and deliver. Norbert, in the meanwhile, using that small amount of chaos to try and cultivate between him and Flit into a clutch. Neither of them have any grenades to play with. They are kind of playing off the same angle, somewhat one-dimensional. A wide swing from CT could bode very well on the side of Sashi. Flashbang up and over, looking to peek into this one, but Flit's now vacated, gone back into firebox. Norbert, a different angle, but it's the same result with 2 more kills and nearly a third, but he baits out Queez for Flit to clean up, and VP pull off the 2v3 clutch.
Success in the heist. They grab the rounds and make out like bandits in the 1 versus 1 towards the end. So Sashi instantly comes tumbling down back to the USPs, low cash to work with the reset coming out from VP. They had the opener. Felt like they had the mark. But the retake not going to work. 2-player push out from CT side, overwhelmed by Norbert. Wins his duel on connector. Can't play this one like a rifle. Grouping up, going for the 5-player setup, looking for the fight towards mid-side, peeking out from short. They're just going for the AXX. They're going to be able to walk in, realize that the site's clear. Penny will drop. Oh, it's the backstab to the back 10 as well. He hits them all coming. Ton of money going his way. Dink in the back of the head for good luck. And another round. No shenanigans there on the dive through the smoke. And he is stacking the paper.
Yeah, printing the cash. Up to 5,000 on Flit. Jane, 4,750. Sashi will have a buy, but it's going to include a FAMAS on Iceberg. I'm not sure if Queez is faring much better either. They trade back and forth. They do have the open play for Lucky. Didn't have too much impact, though, the last time around. And although there is quite a healthy dosage of grenades, Lucky incendiaries could be a problem. The lone one has already been used over on ramp, and they've immediately backed out of there. No one is watching the ramp side. No one's watching Tetris. Now they're going to finally have a check and a look, but it may be too little too late as Mister gets pummeled through the smoke.
Iceberg tried to make himself famous with the FAMAS, but unable to deliver as they're just overwhelmed. The defense crumbles so quickly. The smoke shots go the way of VP. And Lucky won't even get a look in. No chance to show us what he could do with the AWP in this round, as you've just got to hold on to what you've got. Catch a timing on the push out as well. So the only benefit they can have going into the next will be this scope if he can keep it in play. VP hunting for it as well.
That's a very big if, because VP know Lucky had the AWP. They heard the shot out earlier. And pardon me, they actually didn't. He's still got all of his bullets left, even in surplus. They still know it was a full investment. They know the economy is bad. So regardless, they need that kill, and they've got it. It's Fame. A good start for Fame and Flit, which has been kind of against the run of play for the most part over the RMRs. Those are the two players that have struggled just a tad. So everyone really showing up in this all-important decider. And I suppose like you can make the argument as well, like VP, are they playing at their top level? Absolutely not. There's been issues here and there, but if they make it through 3-1, can't really argue with the result. They're at the major at the end of the day.
And obviously that first game they lost was here on this map. That was against Passion UA, 16-14 loss. It looks better on paper now with how good of a run Passion were able to go on. The fact it looked like they were going to be able to qualify to the major 3-0. But in reality, a game they should have won. It was a bit of a poor one in terms of the individuals. Didn't pick up the AWP either. They didn't want it in their hands. They're favoring this Wolfpack, playing together with the quick hits. You know as well, cash flow-wise, not really going to be the best weapons. Up-close angles with a magnitude of deagles invested into. 3 of them brought out, no utility, not even a single flash, couldn't afford it. Dive out into underpass, lucky inside the window. Grouping on short. Potential here for a bit of a pick with a deeg from Iceberg. But already Flip finds the first on the Mac. Let's see if he can clack back with this. Molly's going to make it uncomfortable for him. Has to push ahead, burning in it. Singed toes and taken down by the Undertaker of Norbert.
Just one deeg left in play, but not for much longer. Mister through the smoke. There's that man Flit again, lighting up the scoreboard with 3K in the round, up to 7 already. And another clean round, a clean sweep on the side of VP, and the effects can be seen firsthand with their money. It is astronomical right now. 3 players at 10K. Fame just investing a little bit, dipping under that mark, but considering it's Sashi already 2-4 down, and VP will be good to buy for another 3 or 4 rounds. Whatever happens, regardless. Sashi in a real spot of bother here. And it's kind of the nature and how these rifle rounds have just been dissected and picked apart with relative ease. It's also a bit of a cause for a concern, a bit of an alarm going off. Kami tries to get aggro outside, but no one's there. Tons of smokes and Molotovs. And VP just backing off, waiting for the inevitable, expecting the aggression. And now that it's subsided, they can start to take a bit of mid-control for themselves and go to work.
Get the self-smoke down top mid, so the Molly can't come back in. They can peek on the side and look for the fight towards short, but no overextension from the CTs. Still a ton of time on the clock, and most importantly, nades in reserve. 1 smoke in the back pocket for Jane. Set up for the run out here. Sashi on the response, looking for the counterplay back on mid side. Realizing the game's afoot though, no one's here. They bailed out from the positions they took. Smoke timing's good to block off the Palace run out. Mister tucks himself back in. We saw what he can do in this angle previously. Bit harder now though. Oh, Molly's there. Let's go for the spam shot, biding his time on it, lines it up, eventually gets one, tucks in, stays alive, but the peek back on the back line from Fame is good. Barreling out, dives across, movement's nice, he's able to get onto the bomb side, but Lucky, can you come alive? Last bullet, flicks up, Jane taken down, 3v2.
There's going to be a lot more Molotovs where that came from though, and Lucky finished off by the shrapnel, the high ordnance doing its work. And now Queez marooned on an island between Flit and Norbert, the latter of which has been popping off. But Flit's been up there as well, flashbang up and over, and Queez has no real hopes, although he has the kit without any smokes or incendiaries to try and lock down one of these two. It's going to be easy pickings. The crossfire working a charm. 10 kills to Flit now with yet another 3K in the round. They mentioned on the desk to watch out for him on Mirage, and so far he has delivered.
The Flit and steel that's burning VP's path back into the game. Shining bright right now with a lovely tap on the connector side and closes out the round with the adjustment. One of the few times it's felt like we've seen VP really celebrating as well. They've just been getting through this game.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it. It's like they've been enduring it, you know?
Yeah.
Not enjoying themselves, not feeling particularly particularly confident, enduring, and now they can start to reap the rewards of their efforts. It's another clean pick, another rough buy. An Iceberg being sidelined for the time being. Electronic with another entry, and Quee's not long for this world. Molly's all around him, has to fall back into Fame's crosshair. It is the same result, but this time over on the B site, where Mister with the MP9 is going to get caught from two different angles, and it's Electronic that puts him down. This is a different look to VP, a far cry from that first map performance.
It's playing with the tempo, favoring the rifles right now, hitting them hard on the sight hits. On that one, obviously, pistols with the Deagles in play. It was Cabby that found 2 kills, but the impact isn't really felt with the round going down as quickly as it was. And they got a ton of money. It's a reinvestment straight back out. First time we've seen Jame want to go for the AWP as well. Head-to-head versus Lucky, but he's round on ramp looking for the fast pick and nearly gets his man on the jump.
We haven't seen Sashi really play with that same level of freedom and caution to the wind that saw them take down Eternal Fire earlier in the tournament. I mentioned before, like, is it a case of maybe getting their own heads just a little bit, realizing what's up for grabs? Nailing the shot is Jame. On the fadeaway, Lucky hits the dirt. Yeah, Sashi just feels so constricted, so uncomfortable. Just lacking confidence in how they're playing. Like, typically you're expecting to see Cabby, Mister getting aggressive. They tried a couple of times, but it's like they've dipped their toe in the pool. They haven't really fully committed. Where are the underpass pushes that you often see from these guys? The mid takes up on top to try and isolate the T's. They're just walking one by one into their death. It's so one-sided.
They're getting blown out of the water right now. This will Cabby try and get his hands on the AWP and go for the swing out. Teammate dies in transition on the stairs peak. He's slain. Fame should have the backstab here as well. Should, but loses out. Low on health. I mean, best case scenario, it's the AK. Nades and the Kevlar dragged into the next. But the rounds, the real commodity, that's rapidly growing for the T side. I mean, VP, this is your major map. If you win here on Mirage, you're through, you're done with it, dust your hands off. And already getting 7. Sashi CT side, expecting to see Lucky come alive, but it felt like he had so long to react. Jame takes the top off, gets the second impact frag because of it late round as well. Just quiet right now. And I do agree with you, their blessing. The thing that was winning them rounds was how good they were at trading and very aggressive CT side setups. They'd always take space. We saw it on Ancient. But nothing to be seen here. No AK carried over either. Backstab from Jame. So full house, broken money, down to about 3 to 4K there. Tactical pause going to be called in for the CTs.
Yeah, tactical pause, but in a very awkward spot, economically speaking. I mean, you got players at around top $3,000 to lower $4,000. Can't really justify a full-on investment here. Like, surely you'd want to prioritize and try and get lucky with the AWP again before the end of this half, see if he can cook just a little bit. But right now, it's been crispy from VP. So ruthless. Flit, coming into that last round, was on 143 ADR, 3 multi-kills, 2 opening picks, 12 frags, and 3 assists. It has been utter dominance from his hands, but like everyone's really been chipping in. So yeah, Sashi go for more of a half investment, 3 MP9s and a couple of upgraded pistols. Going to try and get aggressive, I hope, with this kind of weaponry.
VP go back to what worked last time. Quick hit in towards the B bomb site. See if you can barrel your way out. Pop flash themselves in. Electronic dives through with the Mac Daddy in his hands. Gets past them towards the bench. There's only 1 kill back and it's quickly handled. So the players stationed on the site, unable to slow it down or dismantle the push. Iceberg on the peek in. No room to expand on this one. Another one going the way of VP off the quick hit. Same play, same outcome.
Gotta say, I love the call, by the way. Like, after a tactical timeout, knowing the money's probably in a bit of a dicey spot, how many teams are going to be like, right, guys, a tactical timeout is stack B site. Very low chance. So just rushing out like that for VP. Really nice call. It's worked to charm. Sure, they've lost Norbert, but it's fine. He can just cry into those dollar bills because he is stacked with cash.
Now or never now, really, Vince, for their CT side. This is the buy they were waiting for. It's Lucky back on the AWP. And Mister, he's been having a heater over the course of the series. Tons of impact rounds. Ancient, that was his domain. He was just thriving in the carnage, consistently taking fights. Huge impact plays there. Cabby's still looking good, but where's the help? Where's the rest of the squad? Put this AWP to good use. Early mid-control, dives down, gets himself up on short, looks for the peak. Flit spots it. He's comfortable in these sort of positions. He wants to take this duel all damn day. Blind, trapped in position. Cabby still aggressing, support of Iceberg. He's going to wrap back through, go into window. Nade's nice to slow it down, and Lucky with the timing gets the smoke off.
Trying to force their way out to the B side again. Lucky's been flashed a couple of times here and did have a chance. An opportunity goes begging. And it may not have been an easy one, but at this kind of a deficit, you've got to make each and every one of them count. Iceberg at the top of windows, peering in, finds himself fame. So at least evening the odds, but Lucky still trying to hold on to B all by his lonesome. Oh, that kill onto Flit, though, really does throw a wrench in the works. Now, the only thing going in their favor is that Queez has already moved down onto ramp side, but you can see from the positioning of the T's, he's going to get bypassed. It's maybe a backstab element that could come into play further on in the round, but VP have the entire control of this map pretty much in the palm of their hands.
But they're going up through short. They want to execute late onto the B bomb site, and Lucky's the one that needs to win with this. He gets the jiggle out. They're trying to buy time for the short players to come in and be the trade potential. Dive through the window now, make it rough for the man on the bomb site. You've got the quick rotate in the back line. Important kill from Mister, but still, a round that's so hard for you to get over the finish line. 15 seconds on the clock here. Queez, he could be a key piece of this. They're going to try and tap that bomb now. Swing out from Flit. He wants to deny it. 7 seconds on the timer. It works for him. No chance to grab it back and commit to the plant. The single kill there saves the round by the skin of their teeth. That's how Sashi find themselves a start on their CT side. But it's so late into the half. It's 8-3 already. And again, it's incredibly costly. Everything they invested into that one ripped from them. You've got to really buy into it with concessions going into the last round of the half here. So no AWP on Lucky. That is not a luxury that you're allowed to have, and VP, with how they've been playing, could still be in a good seat to get themselves 9. It'd be a ridiculous T-side campaign.
Flash is good. They're going to try and peek into James, and the way he's been playing so far, he will not miss that chance. One step forward and multiple backwards on Sashi. They get the success of Queez on his long con flank. And then straight away into the last round of the half, you lose a key part of the puzzle. There is a wraparound again. This time it's Iceberg. He may get the timing. Norbert drops the bomb down on T-spawn, so if Iceberg can get the upper hand here, there's a way in. But Norbert, he's so on point, man. Like, he's anticipating that peak. He even slows down and readjusts his crosshair to head height and just nails Iceberg straight away.
Yeah, the slow face out into T-spawn. He's sent straight back to the spawn. Meanwhile, Flip, as we were saying before, he loves these fights. He's going to be ready for it on the first. There is a trade, but it's always going to favor VP with the position they're in overall. Commit onto the plant. Motley dashed out, so you're trapped inside a connector. 2 players playing off one another, round towards triple. Queez goes to the wrap in through CT side. It's a clean headshot from Cabby. HE into the back. If he can draw the attention, Queez can get the pick up on Norbert. Now it's a 2v2. James playing for the late round, though. Prime time position to close this one. Bomb isn't really planted for him, so he's got to make his move up through con. And it's Fame that wants to fight. They're going to jump straight on it. Looking for the full commit on it. Just hold it. You're going to get the round off the back of it. There's no room for the peak. The bomb wasn't planted for James.
And, like, Fame's not making a move either. He's not flashing. He's got to flash this entire time. Like, hello, VP? Well, regardless, they're 8-4 in the lead,
yeah.
so... That's a strange one, though, to end it, isn't it? Like you said, like Jane was taking forever and a day to wrap around from underpass through connector, but the bomb's not planted for him or Fame. I'm thinking, right, he's just telling Fame, be an interference, be a nuisance, get them off the bomb, let me cook from Con, and I'll seal the deal. But neither of them did anything. Just passengers, statues.
So it's 4 rounds at the tail end of the half there. Considering how the game was going, it gives at least a little bit of leg room for Sashi. But again, it always comes down to the pistol round. Traded blows back and forth. Sashi, never count him out on the pistols, Vince, but this one is worth so much more. It'd be your pathway back into the game.
Yeah, much needed one at that. And they'll know if they lose out on this pistol, then basically they may have lost one huge opportunity after being a map up in this series. And they'd have to go again in the 2-2 bracket. And when you consider that we have G2 and Spirit going head-to-head later today, one of which will also be 2-2, potentially Eternal Fire at 2-2, that's a pretty terrifying prospect for any team. And Sashi have conceded the first blood. Out comes them a couple players in Lucky and Mister trying to bypass the catwalk position. Jane now stuck on the back of the site. If he can get the 1 kill, that would be huge. Now Electronic lends him a helping hand. The bomb on the deck. It's been fumbled once more, and Cabby, try as he may, has been battling uphill this entire map with no one there to really help him out.
Bomb site absolutely surrounded by CTs. All of them focusing on the short walk now, but you've got the cover here from E-Box. That's going to be Flit's crosshair in a primetime position. Electronic closes it on to Cabby. And with the pistol round confirmed, it's 9 rounds locked in for Virtus.pro. The buy is going to come straight back out. No bomb plant, no nothing from Sashi. This could be 10 rounds before you even get a chance to feel like you're playing on your T-half.
Yeah, it's hard to give VP credit, honestly, because a lot of their games you're kind of scratching your head and you don't really understand like how players of this magnitude and level aren't performing on a consistent basis, but they have done a good job of bouncing back after looking like they were pretty much dead and buried after the first map. Especially if they can just cleanly put this one to bed. Get it locked into play as Flit is doing in this round. It's against an eco, of course, but still no casualties. Confidence building alongside the money count. 10 for the score. Sashi into a rifle. But I think one of the maybe criticisms that will come against VP on this kind of like run to the major, as it were, is when you look at the teams that they've played, like TSM, 9 Pandas, and now Sashi, they kind of dodged a lot of the really heavy-hitting teams in this bracket, to be completely honest. I think that's maybe something that people will say, yeah, maybe they made it through 3-1, but look at the teams they actually beat to get there.
Yeah, with some scrappy CS along the way as well. It was that opening loss for them versus Passion UA. And for Sashi, it's a similar story to what we saw back on Inferno, a game where you've got to play on the back foot, grind it out. 6 rounds to equalize would be required. Norbert inside of the smoke. Quiz trying to line up the crosshair, visualizing the frag. HG's going to go in, but a chip damage onto him. He can tuck in, just play towards the set E there. SMP9 up close, he's going to know. He'll hear the nade going out, he can swing into you. Feast off the back of the SMG, upgrade to the AK, so already another pick, and no room for trades. It was just a one solo maneuver, because you're trying to set up for the A execute. Walk out from Iceberg, good for 1, but Electronic inside of the sandwich, staying alive. Throws out the HE on the dive across. Iceberg will best in, but James here, listening for the audio, tucks in. Iceberg doesn't know. Spam out as well from Flit. That's onto the bomb planter. 45 seconds on the clock. At every turn, it's going wrong.
They managed to force the bomb plant down, but it's a heavy cost again to Iceberg, and this is where the fact they've only got 2 flashes to play with is a real issue as well, and they've also lost Cabby. Flit up to 22-6. with barely 14 rounds played, and Iceberg trying to use the extremity of the smoke to just play the off angle. Here's the bomb getting tickled. First frag comes through for Iceberg, runs out of ammo though, and his health bar also depleted. VP 11-4 in the lead. At least with the post plant, maybe Sashi can scrape together a buy, but I mean, you are down at Last Chance Saloon right now. And they're calling time.
Heads up reposition from James as well on that one with the smoke. Gets on top of the site. Finds the kill, doesn't let Iceberg have a chance to take the 1v1s. And Sashi, now or never. This would be major point for Virtus.pro. Set up a cabbie with a smoke over the top. Everyone else grouping up for the contact play. Blocked by the Molotov for now. Norbert listening out on the jump spot. He can throw in the HE to slow him down. Molly's there to assist as well. The tagging absolutely ruins them. You're trapped inside of the flames. James gets the shot towards mid. That's your short player removed from the equation before they've even got out onto the bomb site. Hemorrhaging players. Virtus.pro licking their lips at match point on this one. And it's all down to Lucky. You imagine he'll be anything but in this round. They group up, walking back in. Paranoid about the smoke, but it's a white swing. Headshot connection from Electronic, 1 round away from the major. Sashi, they've shown us form. They've shown us their utility, their trades, how good their communication has been over the course of their run. But it might be a step too far here on Mirage.
Yeah, VP are locked in across the board now. If they were having a bit of a snooze, a bit of a nap on the first. All the way back on Ancient. They are here and they are ready to lay down Sashi and claim and snatch their spot at the major. Iceberg already dwindles down to 67. He's not seen that same level of precision and surgical removal of these CTs as we have so often over the RMRs. Sashi falling apart at the seams and James just styling on him with his AWP. Fame shuts it down, and now Lucky to try and save the day for Sashi against 4 players and can't get it done. VP lock their spot at the major.
They have inched their 3-1, and that right there on Mirage might be the most convincing we've seen VP here at the RMR. Guys, we'll talk about